All right. Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone is having a fantastic start to your Friday. Interesting week here so far, right? We have effectively spent the entire week to break out away from 2 Fridays ago's range, and we're finally flirting right with that initial breakout. We're pushing new all-time highs here on the index, and very much a unique kind of market backdrop. We've seen the old Vixaruni drop down to be sub 20, right? We're now kind of in that 16 handle. And so it does seem like that may be golden age of volatility that we had last week has maybe fully gone into the rear view mirror. Now, that obviously does not mean that markets are going to be slow or we can't get any action or any of those things. Not the reality. We still can. It's just that we're probably expecting things to be a little bit slower within that context, right? When the VIX moves or creeps up towards that 20 handle range or beyond, that increases volatility, increases the expected daily ranges, and it kind of increases like the shenanigans that the market is willing to kind of like test us with. So I would hope that things are a little bit smoother or a little bit, I don't know if easier is necessarily the right term. Markets are never easy, but maybe a little bit more, less nonsense. I think that's probably the only way I can describe it. So besides that, excited to see what we have in store here today. Excited to see where momentum shows up or how things behave or, basically where things are at. If we can get ourselves a reasonable amount of follow through here today, get a little one and done scenario like we had there yesterday, I think that would be a fantastic finish to our week. But the only way that we're going to get there is if we focus on controlling the variables we can control, right? Being deliberate with our decisions, focusing on our position sizing, closing as P&L is increasing, being prepared to enter trades when things set up, and just getting our mindset to be in that like sweet spot, right? Where we're not overthinking, we're not being reckless, and we're kind of trading in that quote unquote flow state. That's kind of where I hope to get today. That's sort of the objective. I mean, probably the objective for every trading day. But I think that for me, that's the sweet spot, right? That's where things kind of fall into place. The objective, I think, generally is to always have kind of those like stress-free, easy kind of work days. And if we can do whatever we can to get back to that place here today, that would be an exceptionally positive outcome, all things considered. How's everyone feeling this morning? Everyone feeling good? My people in Zoom, everything working okay in Zoom? Love that, Hank. All right, so it looks like everything's working fine. So let's get after it. Actually, I've really enjoyed the Zoom. I think it's working really well. It's been a nice mental capital change. All right. So today, obviously, kind of a crazy day from an economic calendar perspective. I'm expecting things to be a little bit slower here today because we've got that red folder event at 9:45, right? So realistically, I know I'm not going to get a trade until that 9:45 sort of clears. So expecting it to be probably a little bit of a slower start to this AM. And then hopefully it's like a window of chaos in the most positive way, right? I know I just talked about remaining in control. So hopefully that then creates like a element of tradable volatility for us. That's probably a better description. All right. Let's start mapping things out. So this morning, right, ES, we got a little inside bar. So formal consolidation. We're now looking for a breakout, hold, and continuation above all-time highs. The world was ending here, and now we're back to ATH, right? So Um, yeah, looks really positive. Let's see if we can get it and go from there. And let's see, right? Should theoretically have flexibility to be able to trade this in both directions. Well, we're looking at a 68.40 as our starting point here to the upside, and then 68.50, 68.60. There we go. All right. For some reason, 68.90, 68.60 feels weird in my head to type out. I don't know what that means. 6,900. And then to the downside here, we're basically looking for a failed move above all-time highs. So ORB fake out at ATH, then break down towards, right? And our pre-market low here is 777. Nice. And we'd be looking, I mean, that's probably too big of a move, I would say, all things considered. Like that 80 handle, probably a bit punchy, 40 points away from where we're at currently. So I'm going to go 6,800 as my starting point. I think that makes it just a little bit more realistic as a first level. And then we can kind of creep down towards that, let's say 67.20. All right, beautiful. All right, the old NQ. So similar thing here, as ES, right? Inside bar here, pretty good gap up, maybe a little bit of a fuller candle on the pre-market move, but at that point we're really picking at maybe insignificant details. We're looking now, right, for that first attempt to break out and hold from that consolidation, right? I would argue that probably the personality we have seen in the market recently has been one of kind of high volatility consolidation. And now that we're breaking out above all time highs, above that Friday from a fortnight ago, that creates an environment or an opportunity for us to establish a new personality change in the market. So let's see if we do get a nice continuation here of that, or if we can get ourselves a good chunk of follow through based on this potentially being that new kind of shift. I would be really hopeful of that. To the upside here, we're looking at a 25.5. We're already pretty much at that pre-market, so that might be a little bit too close. We'll go 25.6 as our starting point. We've got it mapped out to 26,000, which would be a tremendous move here today. And then to the downside here, we're looking at a 25.3, which is a little bit more realistic than what we have on ES. So that's fine by me. If you want access to the Zoom link, please reach out to your DTR advisor. I'm sure they'll be happy to send it to you. Hey, good morning, Dave. And fine, yeah, things look mapped out. All right, CL, again, 3 for 3 here to the upside. Big green candle, huge volume, and then a little bit of a gap up here this morning. Yesterday, right, CL was quite an interesting ticker because it had that increasing outlier volume before the market opened, right? So a bit of a wild one within that context. I would say that probably makes it very challenging to trade just because a lot of that action is happening overnight. 62.50 here would be the starting point to the upside. But yeah, I'm probably not going to be too motivated to trade this unless CL somehow changed its ticker to BNQ. It's going to be hard for me to fall in love with her again. All right, so Apple inside bar, Tesla, technically a 2 out of 3 to the upside with volume. Microsoft inside bar. Amazon, 2 2 out of 3 without vol. NVIDIA inside bar. So a lot of consolidation here, actually. AMD inside bar. Big gap up. Meta red candle increasing volume gap up. So again, 2 out of 3 to the downside with volume. Less weak maybe than it was yesterday. Kind of looks a little bit like a rejection / fake out above or around 740. This is probably the weakest name we've seen so far today. All right, Netflix setting up as an inside bar here again, right? Opening up in the quote unquote implied middle. Not exactly a particularly interesting candle. This is probably the first time yesterday where I said setting up as an inside bar and it didn't actually close as one. That's kind of take one on the chin, I guess. But red candle decreasing volume, nothing gap, or call it a gap down. So we'll call it a weak 2 out of 3 to the downside with fucking W without volume. And we'll say inside bar setup. Okay. And then Google inside bar. A lot of formal consolidation here. And that effectively means, right, we're looking for a consolidation breakout here this morning. That's the objective. That's the target. That's the dream. And we'll see how she looks. And again, 16.44. So implied range of about 1% here today. Plenty of space. I don't know if we can get it. And let's see how things go. Any questions here, team? Oh, I already got one here, Chris. I'm ready. I'm good to go. Somehow been organized this morning, believe it or not. Me too, Mike. I'm very excited to start the finish off the week with a bang here. All right, so let's see here. We got what 30 seconds till market open. Feels weird to sit and wait. Oh, I mean, my dog's. I mean, everyone's dog is the best dog in the world, but my dog's the best dog in the world. I love him so much. All right, so there's market open. Pretty punchy, right? 450 as our opening price. Let's see. Again, we're probably not expecting any trades, right, until 9:45 Eastern, just because we've got that PMI data dropping. Historically, on PMI day, you just don't get a clean move in that first 15 minutes. Unfortunately, Dave, I don't get to take him on bike rides. He doesn't. He doesn't enjoy those too much. But he does go on pretty big runs with me sometimes and big hikes, and he has a great life there. His I'd say his favorite thing that he does, he's Ricky's a very sweet dog. He is not food motivated. He's very just attention motivated. So his favorite thing in the world is going to the coffee shop, getting the barista to give him a pup cup and some ear scratches, and then he just smiles for the rest of the day. So, yeah, he's the opposite of me in that context, and he's a little sweetheart. Not the biggest volume here yet. I mean, we have a good chance to go bigger than yesterday's open, but let's see. Trading views not being obsessively slow here today, which is fantastic. Feels unique. And we're back above 450. So we're back above open price, or give or take open price. Not a big range, all things considered here yet. Maybe the smallest of the week. Yeah, smallest range of the week here on the 3-min time frame. Oh, God, coffee's so good. And again, yeah, expecting it to be not putting too much stock into this basically until 9:45. Oh, that sounds interesting, Nick. I've never heard of that. Good volume, all things considered, right? 10.83 versus 11 spot 12 yesterday, and then bigger on ES for sure by quite a bit, 23.9 versus 19.6. That's pretty good, right? That's definitely a potential for some interesting PA. So let's see how things settle in here. I heard that too, Sam. Quite a wild story. Like Chauncey Billups, right? He's the coach. His like career earnings are like 100 million plus. The fuck does he need a gambling ring for? Oh, that's amazing, Mike. The Apple AirPods, the new ones, they're apparently able to like translate um translate languages in real time. I wonder if they can translate when I'm grumpy and stream into being nice and positive, like an optimistic translation. I might have to be a purchase for everyone if that's the case. Yeah, I'll have to put my rants and raves through ChatGPT to get them tamed down. Again, so far so slow. Expecting this. I don't think I was too mean to Nate, but if someone's gonna complain about me making money and that not over trading when I'm green, I'm gonna call him out for it. Uh, What a life. Looks like we're kind of getting a little bit of a breakout here, right? While we're still waiting for that 9:45 data. Still 9 minutes to go. So we got a bunch of time. Kind of interesting, actually. Second candle or third candle of the day on the 2-3 min. Gave us that little pop and breakout. Very impressive volume on NQ. But again, the problem here, right, is that no one is going to be or it's like really hard to trust these moves as a trend day when you have a red folder event happening in the middle of the first 30 minutes. Ends up looking more right contextually as a positioning trade versus a trend day trade, where then if you get a positive reaction to the data, then that context kind of changes a little bit. So the problem with trying to play like a positioning trade to a certain extent is that the follow through or upside or like how much space it has is a little bit more random, or it's like a little bit more unpredictable. It can just stop and stall effectively, or it has a higher probability of doing that. Now, because I've said that out loud, over the next 7 minutes, it's probably just going to be a straight line higher towards 25,900, and it's going to be 500 points in 7 minutes. But we'll see if that actually ends up being the reality here. CL looking like a nightmare. Not interested. Again, guys, if you're using Zoom, obviously no problems with you guys using it, right? I love that, but please don't use the chat there. I have no visibility over it. So if you're watching the stream through Zoom, please use the Discord chat, or if you must, the YouTube chat. I just don't have the visibility to be monitoring 3 different ones. People already complain, and rightfully so, about how sometimes it can be confusing when I'm answering questions from both chats. So now adding a third one, it's just going to cause too much of a splinter group here. So I would appreciate if we could keep any chat in at least one of the common kind of live group areas. That would be much appreciated. It feels a little bit nice that we haven't missed anything here yet, but above 500 already is pretty damn impressive. The weird thing here, maybe to a certain extent, is going to be that that 9:45 data is going to be a little bit like splitting a bunch of candles. So PMI at 9:45, it has a little bit of potential to cause a bit of chaos here. Like that 5 min, the next 5 min candle, so 4.5 minutes from now, it's going to have a bit of a reaction, but the 3 min, the 2 min, the 10 min, they're all going to be kind of in no man's land still. I think we'll have a pretty interesting view here. Yeah, still being patient, nice and slow to start the day off. XCL, this feels way too controlled. I mean, I started drinking like an electrolyte heavy water in the mornings. and I feel like a different person when I drink it. It's unbelievable. Okay, 3 minutes here. All right, so we're still waiting here. Um, so if the red folder event was an hour after open, would your thoughts be the same? So if it was an hour after the open, I would have a much larger window where I could trade without effectively having like a shot clock or like a restriction on top. So I would not necessarily have that same restriction. It's just because in the first 15 minutes, it's occurring that limits effectively how likely it is for me to be able to get the move that I expect in an hour. It's very rarely that I get trades that last an hour. It's rare, but it's not like crazy for me to get a trade that lasts 15 minutes. And so I just generally don't like placing trades if I have a tight deadline effectively. That tends to add like a little bit of extra pressure that I don't particularly enjoy. Or like it feels like a time crunch or whatever you want to call it, which I don't enjoy. Yeah, so let's see here. I mean, we've built it up so much that it's probably going to be a nothing burger here. Like a little bit of a pop, but that was nothing too crazy. Now our best bet, right, at a setup slash confirmation is going to be on this 2 min time frame. Or I shouldn't say best bet, our first bet, our first chance. So let's watch. And we do have 10 a.m. data here as well, but the yellow folder is not really something I care about. And then we need this candle to either fill out or go red. So I would say it did neither of those things. So we'll pass on that burden of confirmation. Yes, better candle shape, but worse volume profile. So both of them are kind of a compromise. So still waiting here. I don't have any active confirmations. So we're just going to pass on that burden to a slightly longer time frame and see if something wants to come up. See else the mover off of PMI so far. Kind of fascinating, I guess. And let's see if this thing fills. We've got really good volume. It should be a good enough volume pace. And we're just kind of ideally hoping for a close as close to that 530 as possible. Doesn't necessarily need to be over, but I wouldn't want to trade it if the close was, 514. If it was 527, that's a little bit of a different story. Let's see. So that's not a reference price at the moment. It's just I want to keep an eye out on this, or that's kind of as close that I want to get to as possible. But this 3-min candle sort of feels as if it's behaving like that previous 2-min candle we were just watching. Now it has a chance to go fake out at all-time highs, right? And then now potentially cracking, pretty good volume. Go under 500 all of a sudden. This would be a setup here now to the downside, right? The setup is the fake out above high a day. The confirmation would be the strong candle shape, increasing outlier volume. Looks pretty positive. So we're going to map this out immediately. Stop loss here would be 525. I'll call it 501 stop loss. Again, we'd like to see that fake out happen first, right? Or some sort of indication of bulls failing. This for now is just going to be for me to build out my position sizing, right? So it'd be approximately 9 points of risk that I'd be interested in taking. At 9 points of risk, I'm risking $180 a contract. So it'd probably be a 2 contract play. And again, if it doesn't behave exactly how we want, then we'll just reset this, right, on these time frames. And potentially here now, we'll just look at this on the 5. All right, so I'm getting everything set up in my order window here. Not going to be quite ready to click submit yet, but just having everything set up. Oh, 25,501 would be the stop loss. And we're going to watch the 5-minute time frame now. So third biggest volume bar of the day, not bad, kind of what you'd expect, reasonable reaction. 15 seconds. And then in this context here, our target would be 300. So punchy move, right? 187 points. All right. So then we'd be looking stop loss 86 for now. I call it 87. So again, 10 points of risk here. 25 or 87. And our reference price would be something along those lines, right? It's about that 77 area. So again, right, talked about 2 contract play here. That would be the starting point. 10 points of risk approximately. Okay, watch this. A little bit too fast so far. Okay, so that maybe is our little fake out there. So that'd be a stop loss at, we'll call it 90 now. All right, guys. So I am in stop loss at 90. Entry price 81.50 short. And let's see if this thing can crack. So far, so good. There, it's starting to go. Beautiful. We want to see it hold under 70 at this point. We got a little bit of time here. Don't like that retest. I just got stopped out. Potentially try this again. That looks like, again, it might be like a little bit of a fake out for minus 315 on that. Again, now we're looking again, 91. Might have to see the fake out here again. 491. Okay. So, guys, I am back in at 87 with a stop loss at 91. Do it. All right, just got stopped out again. That might be a little bit too stubborn. It keeps rejecting, but then it pulls back, gives me a shake and fake. It's annoying. So 0 for 2 here, minus 790. No big deal. Yeah, so now stop loss would be 94. And a little bit maybe too stubborn on this. And I can't get that follow through that I want, which is really annoying. Because I should be up quite a bit right now on this. Just got shaken out twice. And I'm not too worried about the 10 a.m. data, so that's not something that's in the way here or that I'm going to change my behavior around. The 10 a.m. data should be insignificant. Okay, let's see how this closes. Again, this doesn't really change too much for me. This still continues to be my confirmation. Hasn't been invalidated with that. It's just been a little bit of a shake and fake, which is fine, albeit annoying, but fine. And now let's even get a little fake out above and then crack under. So there's a little fake out. 97 would have to be the stop. Okay, so watching here carefully on a gentle pullback. Okay, guys, I am in at 91, 491, stop loss at 97. Not a great reaction. I just got stopped again. That's so annoying. Not giving me any reason to be long. Besides, it just keeps grinding through my short stops, which is really annoying. This again, fuck me. All right, guys, I'm back in at 505.25. This has got to be the most stubborn trade of my life. We need to get it under 500, and then it can start to flush towards that 70 handle again. Come on. Okay, there it is, guys. There it is. There it is. Oh, fuck me. All right. So now the focus, right, is closing as P&L is increasing here. And let's see if this thing can keep flushing through. There's 16. Oh, I have to be very, very stubborn with this trade. It's kind of an annoying feeling. Come on, it's got to die here. So, guys, right? Stop loss when I write it out or when I draw it out here. Oh, fuck, I got to focus. One sec. I've made so many videos on this, guys. I don't have the. Round it up, right? Round it up. Fuck's sake. We should not have gotten stopped out on that trade, guys. Okay. So always, guys, I'm just rounding it up to the nearest round number. So if it says 511.50, set 512. If it says 511.75, set it to 512. If it says 511.25, set it to 512. For fuck's sake, guys, there's so much sloppy execution that it really is such a waste of energy. We've made so many videos here, guys, and we keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again. It's so pointless. Your execution technique only works if you're consistent with it. If we make it up as we go each time, we just suffer the cons of each technique. No one should have lost money on that trade. Like, our details cannot be that sloppy, guys. They really can't be. It's too frustrating. Because that is completely avoidable by just being consistent with what you're doing, by having muscle memory around your execution technique. No one should have gotten stopped out on that trade. Well done, Nick. Enjoy, Kiki. Like everyone, yeah, guys, we got to really sharpen up our executions, right? We really got to sharpen those up. No, it's not lucky, Kiki. It's because you're deliberate with how you're choosing to execute your trades that you get those quick results, right? Your technique is solid. You've got your muscle memory around you execute things. You know how you're setting in your parameters. So there aren't any random outcomes, right? Or unexpected ones. So give yourself more credit than you're giving yourself because that's exactly how you're supposed to be behaving. All right, let's see how this thing continues to behave. Maybe now we have that little upside rip. Guys, if there's another trade here, control your variables, guys, please. It is the worst feeling in the world when I make money on a trade and everyone else loses, or a bunch of people lose because they skipped a step. It is a sinking feeling. Please, guys, please. So sitting on about $200 here on the day. Not exactly a monster, but covered those first three attempts at that crack. But yeah, guys, sharp details, right? When markets are moving and things are moving fast, when we skip those little, what you feel are minor details, you get major disappointments in your P&L. It's completely avoidable. So the other thing I want you guys to all realize here, right, is that when I draw out my fibs, I am not doing that because it sets up my execution window or anything along those lines. I am drawing out those lines and the profit target, the stop loss, the risk reward zone as a visual cue so that everybody knows what the general plan is. You should not be have gotten filled at 528, Jake. That is a not real slippage number because at that point it never climbed up to that price. Right? Its highest there was like 511.50 or something like that. Oh, that slippage sounds insane. 17 points of slippage is crazy. Is this in paper trading or in your prop account? Yeah, that's a crazy, disgusting amount of slippage. I would contact Tradeify and bitch them out for that because that is crazy. It's 528 now, right? It wasn't 528 when it ever pulled up and hit that 511. So that's a disgusting number. Okay, so now we're looking for a possible rejection thesis here. Like I would expect sometimes 2 points of slippage, maybe 5 points of slippage when things are crazy. Maybe. But yeah, 17 points is nuts. On NQ, that's nuts. So again, just to go back to when I draw out those fibs, guys, right? I want you to understand that I draw those out not because I'm using it in my analysis. I'm drawing them out because it helps or should help you to be able to visualize what the setup is. Right? And when I draw out a fib, I'm not spending an hour trying to make sure that I get the exact low or the exact high and that it's, absolutely perfect. That's going to take me way too long each time. So I try to draw it as best as I can and then round towards round down to the nearest full number. So I don't want you guys to think that it's anything more than that. That is all that it is, right? It is a visual cue that everyone can see what the setup is on their screen. That's it. Nothing else. That understood? Everyone understand that? If we're going to turn that into our crutch, then that's going to create a lot of problems for you in your execution. It's just focusing on the wrong thing, right? No one should have lost money on that trade, guys. That's super disappointing. All right, I'll be back in a second. I'm just going to go fill up my cup of coffee. All right, so let's see what the market still has in store for us here. I won't lie, I do feel a little bit frustrated about that last trade. Feels very hollow. Hey, Rusty, how you doing? Oh, that sounds fantastic. I can't remember the last time I was able to sleep until 8 a.m. I'm jealous. Hey, good morning, Leia. We kind of have a maybe breakout setup here. It did close above ATH. You kind of have that little fake out lower. It's not the strongest candle in the world. Does look a little bit rejection-y. Yeah, very similar to yesterday's trading day, right? Where we had like a decent early pop and then just a drift. I don't know why I'm so frustrated after that trade. It just felt that one felt like it took a disproportionate amount of mental capital out of me. Oh, let's see if we got some volume back. It would be really nice. I mean, we're not going to get enough volume there on the 2 or the 3 min, right? These have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 smallest volume bars of the day. But yeah, guys, I'm sorry for not making that stop loss clear enough. Should have done better. And maybe we have like a little bit of a trend line breakout type scenario here, or like an ascending wedge breakout, maybe is the better way of describing it. But we just need the volume to return, right? This volume is very indicative of consolidation or non trending PA. And like that volume is so pathetic. Mm, 1 minute, too much. It just, I'm not going to talk about this anymore after this. You got to move on. But um, if we're not consistent with our execution technique, guys, if we do a different time or different thing each time, if this time we're applying an exception, that time we're doing this, that time we're doing that, you're just going to screw yourself over. Be consistent. Do the same thing every single time. Turn it into a muscle memory so that you don't have to think about it. Every time I speak with traders, they have this trade, they traded it this way, this trade, they traded it that way, whatever, yada, yada, yada. And they have no consistency in their process, so they have no consistency in the quality of their results. That is a variable that we can all control, something that we have a direct and deliberate access to. There's been a lot of resources that have been made over how to do these things. If we're going to choose to do a different thing each time, we're going to get a random distribution of results. And that's not acceptable. So pick and choose, right? What version you want to be, or like what technique you want to use. Don't change it each time. You're making your life way more difficult than it needs to be. Well, that's it. I'm not going to say anything else about this. I don't have the energy for it. Consistency is rewarded significantly in trading. Find a way that you're happy with your consistency. Good volume on CL, but it kind of reminds me of Wednesday's price action where it's immediate lower low, rip higher, which then tended to pretty much shake out every freaking move possible. Maybe this 2-minute chance is a chance to go increasing outlier. Yeah, to be honest with you guys, like I'm not frustrated with any individual person here. I'm more frustrated with myself. I think yeah, like the way that I called out that trade, the way that I set it up, the way that I executed it was not my best version of doing it either. Right? We took 3 cracks at one idea, and by the third crack, it was the loosest of them all. Not loosest as in the strategy was off or the trade was wrong or the thesis was wrong. Not in that context, just in how I set it up and how I called it out. I didn't set people up for success with that one. And so that's where the frustration comes personally, because I didn't control my variables well enough either. And so it's probably not fair for me to, yeah, to bitch people out for that. That is a me thing. It's just hard for a 10-man setup to come together to get the risk profile that you want, to be able to get the position sizing that you want. So it just ends up um yeah, just like the position sizing is usually the main thing, right? For me to get 10 points of risk right on this is really really challenging, or 5 points of risk or whatever my number is just becomes much more challenging. So it's not that we can't trade them. It's just that generally from it just fails a lot of execution rules. All right, time to reset here a little bit. I got one more glorious monster trade in me here. Can't do this on ES. Yeah, for sure, I would agree with that, Hugo. In general, right? The longer the signal, right, the generally less noisy it is. So I 100% agree within that context. I think you're spot on. It's just it becomes more challenging for those trades to fully come together, just because of how long it takes, right? So it's just the time thing that gets in the way. You know, for one 10-min candle, you've got 5 2-min candles, or 3 3-min candles, or potentially sometimes 3 or even 2 5-min candles. And so you just end up getting a lot tighter risk reward ratios in those shorter term ones than you do anywhere else. And yeah, you end up getting the executions that you're looking for more in that context. Fuck me, CL. What a temperamental prick. Worse than me. Still no increasing volume here on these shorter time frames. It feels like suspiciously thin, or like suspiciously controlled. And so still waiting for that increasing outlier volume. We got lots of time here, guys. Got lots of time. Huh, maybe. If they did, I'm sure they'd push the range a little bit more aggressively than they're doing today. All right, one sec, guys. Be right back. All right, we finally have some increasing outlier volume again. Let's see if it wants to behave in a way that we actually respect. Let's get rid of this. So again, guys, right? Not guaranteed to get an execution here, right? Not saying that. But if we do get a trade, sharp details, right? Very sharp details. These are extremely important. I know sometimes they feel very insignificant, but it's the consistency in that application that truly makes a very big difference. So please, guys, right? Very, very be deliberate here with your execution. Don't skip steps. Make it easy for you to get the trade that you want. Understood? All right. And we're waiting for the fake out first or some sort of indication of a bullish failure. And like I said, I think I let you guys down on that last trade. So I'll make sure I do better as well, right? Well, I mean, the reason why I'm saying these things, guys, right? It's important for us to understand that our relationship here is two ways, right? You guys expect accountability from me, and I expect accountability from you. And so it's important that we are able to acknowledge that, right? That we can be honest about that. And it's important for you guys to know that I do take this very seriously. I do expect myself to be perfect pretty much all the time, which is a huge cause of stress and anxiety in my life. But if we don't hold ourselves to standards that make people uncomfortable or make ourselves uncomfortable, we're never going to take that next step, right? So it goes both ways. I want you guys to know that. And I'll never ask you to do something that or hold yourself to a standard that I wouldn't hold myself to. So 5 minutes here, we've got an opportunity for a possible reversal. This looks very, very interesting. Again, this is just going to be a starting point for now, right? Just so we have a little bit, a little benchmark for how things behave. Assuming that I get a stop loss here at 491.75, the number that I would write in here, guys, would be 491, right? That would be what I write into my order window. So yeah, like my hedge effectively, right? For ensuring that this isn't like I don't have to spend, okay, is it this? Is it this? Is it this? Is I just round it down, right? To the nearest round number. So that's my process every single time. And again, this is here as a visual cue. I'm not really doing any analysis with the fibs. I've just turned this into a like a gypsy tool version of how to use this, right? I use this differently than pretty much any other trader I've met. And it's just a visual cue. So this circumstance, right? If I were to have my stop loss at this right now, you can kind of see a little bit of a gap underneath. I'm at the round number. I would type in 468. If it's now 468.50, right exactly at that ticker low, I'm still typing in 468. Right? If it's here, it would be 465. I'm going in 50s only. 457 here, right? It would be 450 here. So it's the same process in my head every time. Yeah, I'm just talking about how I would be setting my stop loss if a trade came together here, young dude, right? So that we don't repeat the mistake we made on that previous trade. We do have an active setup, but we're waiting for that fake out to occur. So right now I have everything boxed in so that people can visualize what the setup is, but we still need a little bit of cooperation from the market prior to being or looking for our entry. So we have a setup. We've got a good confirmation here. We just kind of want to see bears fail. I don't think that's going to be increasing outlier. So can't trade that on the 2. Don't think I can trade it on the 3. So we are going to be stuck on the 5 here, at least for now. Yep, this would be a long in this situation. It would be correct. Feel a little bit like it's moving in molasses. Like a very slow reaction or muted reaction to 500. Better, much better. Don't think, I mean, this might go outlier. I'd say probably no. So I'm just stick to the 5 here. It's not going to be a difference. So for now, stop loss would be 507. We want to see a little fake out here first, right? It sounds like it's the same price, JK. Nice work, Kyle. Go enjoy, man. Well done. Kyle, just want to give you kudos, man. You had a good mental battle this week with yourself. You fought through. You survived. You should be very proud. Congratulations, dude. So now we're probably pushing this up. We'll call it 508 stop loss, it would be. Again, yeah, your price does not seem off, JK. There's always going to be maybe a half a point or a 1 point difference between the two. But it's 100% correlation. The same product, right? Effectively. Okay, so I'm going to start to set everything up here, guys. I'm looking at a 508 stop loss. That's the number I'm typing in. It's been annoying that the time I want it to pull back, it doesn't. The time I don't want to pull back, it does. Classic. Reference price, I would say, is there, like 516. I mean, realistically, I'm not getting an entry here under this 516, so no go. Let's say hypothetically, right, it'd be about 8 points of risk, so 8 times 20, 160 per contract. Would be a 3 contract play, yeah. But I think we're probably going to try to get this on a different time frame here now. Maybe the thing to do here is get that really tight risk. Take that shot. Things are moving pretty slowly, so that tight risk does make a little bit of sense. Okay, so let's see if this is the little fake out here. And we're looking for a trampoline bounce. That's a bit slow. Stop loss would be 529. Let's see, again, watching for the little fake out here first. Okay, so now it would be 528, right? All right, let's see. Still just a little bit too slow here. Now we're looking at a 523. I call it 523 stop loss. That was a much better bounce. And now we're looking. Give it a sec. This candle's going to close. Way too fast. Way too fast. There's another little bounce. So we're trying to pick and choose a stop loss here again. 512 for now. All right, so looking like a fake out here. So now we're looking for a gentle pullback. All right, this increasing volume, as long as we don't close under that blue line, is not a bad thing, right? Because we know a lot of that volume, even though this candle is red, is going to be basically people defending, right, our confirmation low or our setup candle low. So that's fine, right? That's a nice little fake out here. Let's see if we can get a gentle pullback into our area. Come on. All right. Watching. We're looking for gentle here, right? We're looking for gentle. So be patient. Buy yourself an extra half a second, right, to make a decision. Too fast. Okay, now we're looking at a 509 stop loss, guys. 509. Okay, I am in 513.50, stop loss 509. $513.50. There's your retest. Bounce, bounce, bounce. I don't know if I really like the feel of this. I feel a little bit nervous. Oh, there's the stop loss. I spoke it into existence. Fuck. We'll try this again here. That does put me a little bit red on the day now again. Tough game. All right. Does young dude, it sounds like your position sizing is off. Worst, biggest, the most that you should have lost on 3 losing trades would have been maybe 1,200. So something about your position sizing sounds off. No setup here now to the upside. We're going to be looking for a rejection thesis here now on the 2 men. A 1 for 4 on the day, down about $300. Should have taken that close on that last trade though. Felt weird about it after entry. All right, so looking for a setup here to the downside. Targeting low a day. So stop loss here would be 500. Reference price here would be 94.50. God damn it. This is not how the streak ends, guys. I'm just going to keep it to the 2. The 2 and the 3 are going to be the same here. No difference. So now you're looking, let's see, 477 stop loss. Now 478. The reference price of 70. And watching here carefully. Hey guys, I am in 471.25 short, stop loss 478. $471.25 short, right? 471. There we go. Good reaction here early. Keep flushing. I've actually oversized this position by quite a lot. Took the wrong position sizing on this. I'm out, guys. I am out. Exit price 463. Exit price is what it is because I caught myself in a mistake. So I'm going to reset this and try it again here on this next candle. It's not an indication of me not believing in the thesis. I do continue to believe in it, but I'm not going to be holding on to a trade where I've made a mistake in my risk management. I'll just reset this. I'll try it again. I basically just don't want to be rewarding myself, right, for a bad habit. And it looks like it might be a good decision. You just lose your ability to be impartial once you've made a mistake. You just your hope then becomes that you get bailed out, not necessarily that the trade behaves how you expect. So I don't want to rely on that hopium. That's a very dangerous sensation. Everyone understand that? Makes sense? Yeah. If you're still in that trade, you're in fantastic shape here, right? Please, fuck me, close it, close it. Take your win, guys. Take your win. Let's go. Nice work, guys. Nice work. Again, I didn't close this trade because I thought my thesis was wrong. I closed that trade, right, because my position sizing was wrong, and that removes my ability to be impartial. Let's go, Greg. 2,700 bucks. Old dude, 2,100. Nice work, guys. That was a big flush. Let's go, Jack. What an exit. Good work, guys. Hey, nice work, Doug. That's fantastic, man. Congratulations. And there's no wealth without health, man. So glad you're taking care of your stuff. Let's go, Kath. Love that. And look how quickly it comes back to entry price, right? Let's see if it wants to fake out above that 476 here or 477. If you can do it inside your like prop window, right, or like your account management page. So again, let's see if we can get a little fake out above that 477 area. I do feel a little bit dumb for missing that, but self-inflicted wound, right? That's okay. I'm the only person to blame for making that position sizing mistake. I'm the only person to blame, right, for not getting as much out of that trade as I would have wanted. And making mistakes is fine, right? They're going to happen. We're going to all make a ton of them. But it's now just not allowing us to change our behavior when we catch ourselves making one. That's the important thing, right? Because it's super easy to remember that because the trade's going to come again. So, Russ, you ask a great question here. Do you ever close a partial in that case to get correct sizing? For me, no. Once I catch myself making a mistake in my execution, I shouldn't necessarily be trusting the rest of my analysis. Not to say that it's incorrect or that the probabilities are low, but if I was able, or if I made a mistake because of basically sloppy execution, what else am I missing, right? If I'm willing, or if I skip that detail so easily, what other details maybe have I missed? And so the only way for me to then get impartial and assess that is to entirely close my position. So it's like, yeah, I'm not closing it because I think I'm wrong. I'm closing it because I'm setting myself up to have, at the very best, a more emotional outcome than is probably necessary or is responsible. And so the only way for me to basically pull back control over my emotions in that context is to just fully get out. And it does not feel good. Seeing it then flush to 430 when I had 5 contracts, I would have had a tremendous reward on that decision. But the most dangerous trade you can take is one where you get a really positive outcome, even though you broke a rule. Because then now in your head, it's really hard to say that your rule is reasonable if you've made, $5,000 on a trade or something along those lines, right? Yeah, you end up tricking yourself into thinking that your shit don't stink, and you destroy your ability to protect your future self from that. All right, so NQ now giving us a possible little fake out here above that confirmation candle high. Replace our stop loss to be in that 483 area. For now, we need to see it reject and basically slingshot back under 477. So for now, still not necessarily reasonable. Okay, that's a much better little rejection here. Now we'd be looking for a pullback into that area, which maybe is a little bit unlikely at this point. Let's see. have to be a gentle pullback here, right? Gentle, gentle, gentle. And stop loss would be set at 483. 25, 483. Discipline's a cruel mistress. This question now is it reasonable to think that we can get down towards that target, 354? Probably. Still in play here. Oh. A lot of work today to be up $100.32. Call me Warren Buffett, guys. I'm printing. All right, so watching here carefully. So funny. I've got this like oh no, intrusive thought that I should chase this, and that's such a bad idea. And it's like to a certain extent, my brain feels like it's owed one for that big win. But that's such a lie. My brain's trying to trick me here, so got to really double down on just being very, very deliberate here. Easier said than done, though, sometimes. That little switch, right? Just quickly take a look at ES. That's kind of like a little bit of a way to just like break a pattern, right? Not to like basically get out of that tunnel vision. Again, gentle pullback. Here's what we're looking for. Hey guys, I am in 476.75. So in at 476.75. Quite happy with that entry, actually. And let's see if this thing can flush. Come on, baby. Less enthusiastic here all of a sudden. Felt so good at 68, 69. And now it's kind of stalling. There's the retest. This has got to be the place where it flushes now. If it doesn't, I have to get out and just take the small win. Come on, don't do it. There's my stop loss. Fuck. Ah, that's annoying. That puts me down to now $400 on the day, minus $400 on the day. Always, Kobe, chasing a trade always screws you. Or if it doesn't on that one, it screws you on the next one. Oh, it's fucking. And is this the other fake out here at 490? You'd have to look at something like this, moving a little bit too aggressive. So it's got to be a little bit patient here. So again, that would be a 491 stop loss. Let's go, D. Scott. Well done. All right, so I'm trying this again, guys. In at 486, stop loss 491. And maybe I'm a little bit early on this. Oh, come on. There we go. Let's see if this thing can keep flushing here. Got to close under 480. I didn't do it. That's super annoying. Okay, so I'm going to try to look to get out here now as PNL is increasing. If we get a really big flush, maybe I can still hold on, but I need to focus on closing as PNL is increasing here. All right, I'm out. Fuck's sake. Exit price 483.25. Oh. Okay, so now down 175.43. Sounds good, Nick. Enjoy the rest of your day. And we just keep faking out. So just keep being a little bit stubborn here to a certain extent. And let's see if it stalls out, right? Then we can get that rejection. Now we're looking at a 496 stop loss. I'm trying to control my mental capital here as much as I possibly can. Easier said than done sometimes. But yeah, down 175.43. Made the day a little bit harder for myself than I needed to have. I for sure should have been green here by a significant amount today. And I'm not, which is quite frustrating. And just those self-inflicted gunshot wounds, right? Everyone makes them. Everyone has those moments. Part of the game. Now we're looking 501 stop. 25, 501. Ooh. Gosh, I almost made another mistake there. I had 591 set as my stop loss. That would have been chaos. Oh. Okay, we need to see like a trampoline rejection here. Too slow, hombre. Can't really say that that's a fake out here now, right? No entries, right? It's not setting up the way that I want, so no reference price. All right, I'm not looking for a short here now, Austin. The setup is dead. Fuck. I mean, this 3-min has a chance to go increasing volume here. We need to go increasing outlier. Like, I really want to trade this candle, this 1114 one, but I can't do that. Again, it's like my brain is trying to trick me into skipping steps a little bit, and I'm trying to acknowledge that as much as I can out loud so that I can basically break that pattern. Yeah, we were looking for setups to the upside here, Danica. Absolutely. We're just trying to get a confirmation of that here now. So confirmation occurs when we get increasing outlier volume and a most bullish, second most bullish, or normal body bullish candle after our setup trigger. Our setup trigger in this context, right, is separation away from the opening range. So we're looking for this candle to close relatively strong here. That's probably not it. Fuck, that's a rejection now on the 2. And so that's the thesis I will be looking for here now. So now we're looking for a short. Targeting low of day. So stop here would be 523. For now, reference price like 18-ish. 20 is too aggressive. 18 would be kind of the reference price I have in my mind. 518. Can't seem to draw it out. So I was watching here carefully now. Oh, this is a cruel mistress. So weird, but in your head, that 4 points away feels so far. That's such a dumb thought. Ugh. Okay, just a little inside bar here, so I'd still like to see a little pullback. Again, watching here very carefully. A little bit too fast. That might be the fake out there. So stop loss would be 524, guys. 524 stop loss. Again, maybe a little bit too fast. Yep. Let's see. Give me the reaction here. We need to get it under 522, right? That's when we know we're faking out. So reference price would be 522. Stop loss would be 526. But we haven't really gone under that blue line and then gentle pull back into it, right? So far, that blue line has acted like support, not resistance. So we're waiting here, right, for that entry or for a reason to click submit. We don't have it. Okay, now you'd be looking at a 520, I call it 530. So 8 points of risk, right? You'd be looking at 3 contracts. All right, so watching here carefully. It's not a fake out. Not a fake out. I need to stop. Not a fake out. Did not close under that 522, so we can't officially call that a fake out. I'm really fighting the demons here a little bit. Again, my brain keeps trying to trick me into skipping steps a little bit. And I'm fighting it. And I don't really feel tilted. I don't feel annoyed. I feel actually pretty good. But I've caught myself making one mistake. I'm not going to catch myself making 2. So again, right? Hold yourself to a very high standard. And don't tolerate your own nonsense. And then just honestly trying to be as deliberate as I can in choosing my reaction to that. And instead of beating myself up, I'm just giving myself, I mean, maybe it sounds like I'm beating myself up, but I'm giving myself something very specific to focus on here, right? So the thing that I'm trying to be very specific to focus on is my execution window. I'm giving myself a technical thing to worry about so that I can basically overcome the emotional burden. It does feel a little bit like we're just going to go squeeze mode higher here. Let's see if we can get a setup that matches that thesis. Theoretically, we could maybe call it this. This is my confirmation, and then kind of the other candles here have given me a good separation. It'd be a 536 stop loss targeting 600. Would look like that. It'd be a 535 stop, guys. 535 would be the stop loss, and reference price would be about 540. This $170 is hard to accept. Okay, watching here. A little bit too fast. Better. Hey guys, I am in. Maybe I shouldn't be. Come on. 535 is the stop. And not a perfect entry. A little bit more time in the red than I should be here. Fuck, there's my stop. It might be another. That'd be now a 33. I'm going to try this again, guys. Maybe a little bit stubborn here. Sorry. Okay, I'm in 537. Stop loss 33. I got some trust issues. All right, I'm out, guys. I am out. I've closed this trade. Exit price 36.50. Didn't like my initial reaction here. The feeling, right, is if I'm early on an entry, if I'm not green pretty much right away, what else am I wrong about? In that trade, I was not green right away, so it makes me feel as if the fake out was coming. So for sure the right read there. Annoying, but the right one. Oh, fuck me. So still down about $500. Stop loss here would be 529. I think it's going to move a little bit too fast. Reference price would be 34. But we're not seeing that stop loss. Nice work, Danica. Congratulations. We're not seeing that nice little elevator bounce here off of these lows yet. It's not bad. Still doesn't feel perfect. Now stop would be, like I said, 526 here. Oh. So still no entry on this. Still no entry on this. And so with 15 seconds to go, we want to see this close above 34. Then we can argue legitimately that it's a fake out. Oh, just, just. All right. So let's see if this thing gives us now a gentle pullback. Let's go, Jeremy. Nice work. That's awesome, man. Love to hear that. It's kind of an interesting day. Like I talked about after that big win, or not that big win, that win where I had a position sizing mistake that should have been a big win. I felt very off for being in a trade that no one else did. But now that's kind of evened out a little bit here, right? A lot of people are green. Most people are green when I'm red. And that is a really nice thing. It's really nice to see that people have controlled their variables very well. So I gave you guys some stick about that at the beginning. Now I can give you some credit. So well done, team. Love to see that. Might not always be perfect, but I'll always try my best to be fair. All right, so now we'd be looking stop loss 32, reference price around that 40-ish, I would think. We'll keep this on the 3. We got close a couple times there at the 40. Didn't want to quite get under. Let's see. Come on. 3. Half a tick. Oh, Christ. Okay, so we're looking now, still a little breakout thesis. Still the same idea here. I'm 8:33 or 11:33. I'm struggling a little bit to accept this as a red day. Hey, let's go, Leia. That's awesome. Congratulations. $400 is very, very well done. This could be the little fake out. It's getting fucking messy. So stop would be 430. I'm not super confident in this yet. 429. Not super confident in this yet. All right, good decision, guys. Really good decision to not do something stupid. Easier said than done sometimes, but easier said than done. Oh, fucking life. Oh my god. Now we're looking for a downside play here. Let's see how this candle closes, right? We want to see it close strong shape, strong volume profile. We have the volume profile. We need to see this candle close about 20 seconds. Let's get rid of this. An okay close. That's an okay close. Body of the candle is larger than the wick of the candle. It's really good volume. Again, we're targeting low a day here. Question is, where's the reasonable fake out spot? Is the reasonable fake out above high a day, which would be 48 approximately? Or should it be our confirmation candle high? Let's wait and see. Would make our stop loss 41. Call it 42 as a stop. Reference price, we'll say 37, 36. Okay, still in play here. Well, inside bar changes nothing. The only thing, excuse me, I don't know where that was. Only thing here now is as we pull into 36, right, or above, again, just buy yourself that extra half a breath, right, half a second, just to watch that reaction inside that zone. I would say that probably on like an inside bar, the magnet is going to be this 39 area, right? So I almost don't want to click submit until I see that fake out above the inside bar high. Right? So I'm not clicking right away here when I see a 36.75. I think there's a high probability we pull into at least that 39 area or fake out around that zone before we get that next flush. If I'm wrong, fine. I'll set up a breakdown right later on. So again, right? Like as it's pulling closer and closer and closer, my finger's not on the trigger here. I literally have a pen in my hand that I am screwing and unscrewing. So just forcing myself, right, to slow down. It's either going to behave exactly how we say or we're not interested. And I would rather be paranoid as you know, maybe as much as I would like to be trading, right? Or make sure I get a green day out of today. I'm also not in a rush to make that $500, $1,000. So I would rather be too patient, too cautious, and not self sabotage than being too aggressive, too emotional, too assertive, and self sabotage. It's like delaying that gratification a little bit. Right, like a reality, I think, with trading is generally what feels best for our accounts in the moment is what's worst for them long term. And so, like, if you ever feel as if you are making decisions out of like spite when you're trading, you're probably not making a very good decision. Excuse me. I would say that the longer it takes to keep breaking down, right, probably the higher probability is of that fake out actually occurring, right? Because we haven't seen that immediate strength from bears here yet, or at least not what you would have maybe expected with the kind of intensity of our confirmation candle. So right away, right? Or I shouldn't say right away, it took me a couple minutes, but the red flags are kind of showing themselves a little bit here, or I can acknowledge them a little bit here. Again, all that doesn't really change my thesis because you know it could still be in play. It's just kind of creating like structures in my head here to force myself to slow down. And to like really fight back against that P&L brain. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. I had a great night's sleep. No, it's not increasing outlier volume. You're saying, oh, that 1120. So the 1120, right? We're saying it's a failed breakout higher, failed breakout lower, right? That candle has failed on its move because of this fake out higher here. Okay, so now we're maybe getting a chance for it to crack down through, and that will give us an opportunity. That is a great thing to mention though, Hugo, because truth be told, I was not watching on the 5. I've just been maybe tunnel vision on the 3 here a little bit. All right, so we're still in play here. Now I'd be looking like this. So 522. Let's see if this is the fake out. Whoa. So looking at a 517. Let's see here. All right, guys, I'm in 518.75, 518.75, stop loss 522. A little bit of a bouncy bastard here. Oh, there's my stop. Motherfucker. Let's see. There's the reject. All right, try this again. And they'll pull back, please. All right. 2250. Short, stop loss 27. Reaction. Flush, flush. Come on, keep going, keep going. Nope. All right, guys, I'm out. Close price 519. Can't ignore that volume any longer. Okay, so made $150 there. It's a fighting man's day. Okay, again, we're looking potentially failed breakout, now targeting 600. That was a wild candle. The reference price would be like that. And want to see kind of the little fake out lower. There it is. I would set my stop loss to be 520. And let's see. Hey guys, I am in 524 on the dot. 524. A little bit off on my entry. Yeah, I'm out. Fuck. Getting annoying. Ugh. All right, one more stab here at the cuckoo's nest. In at 520.50. There we go. There we go. Fuck me. Push, push, push. Finally got a good entry, right? Green right away, effectively. No extra stress. So I do feel pretty vindicated in how I have been trading. It has not been an easy day, though. Oh, am I going to fucking jinx it? Probably. Not a great reaction here. Not sure why. Yeah, I'm closing there, guys. I think I probably should have been stopped out there. I'm not sure why I wasn't. Oh, it's frustrating. Down 75.43. Been a weird day. And I think I made another execution mistake there. I didn't have my stop loss set at 517. I had it set at 507. I'm almost at a 3 strikes you're out policy here. Sorry guys, I've been a very sloppy trader today. I apologize. Everyone okay? Yeah? No? How does everyone feel? Love that, Tony. And I'm like $75 down. Like I don't really wanna stop, but I keep doing dumb shit. This has been a day where I should be up quite a lot and I'm making bad decisions. This was a tough week for sure, Austin. But let's send me your executions because as stressful as it has been, or as bouncy it has been, should not have given away those that 2 weeks of progress. So let's talk about your position sizing here a little bit and make sure that's where you need it to be. All right, guys, I'm back in and I'm stopped out instantly. I can't even finish the sentence. All right. That puts me now 473. One more attempt here. No, Austin, 2,500 bucks per week per account is a fantastic run rate. Absolutely tremendous. So you should be very proud of that. But let's figure out why it degraded this week. That's an important thing to study. What a life. Okay, let's be patient. Again, looks like the fake out, right? So we're just trying to get a tight risk reward entry to justify it. Hey guys, I am in 521.50. Sorry, stop loss at 519. There it goes. Come on, don't do anything stupid to me here. Motherfucker. It gives me like a very quick pop for half a second and disappears. That's quite frustrating. Again, it's like it's trying to trick me into making a bad decision, and that's oh, very frustrating mental battle. There it goes. Breakout over 30 now. Come on. All right, guys. So I'm really focusing now on closing as P&L is increasing here. I am done with the mental baggage of today's trading day. Fuck it hell. Come on. All right. Guys, I am out. Exit price 534, 534. That does put me to green on the day, but in the most probably stressful and tumultuous trading day I've had in maybe 6 months. Not necessarily stressful because of how the market behaved. It was stressful because of how I behaved, right? I made my life so much more difficult than I needed to have made today. And I had to really focus to power through effectively and not do something stupid. Because I did a lot of stupid things here today. I did 2 really dumb things. And that's like I should yeah, like I'm going to be very honest about that. I made 2 very significant mistakes here today. And that's not cool, not super sustainable. Now the thing that I'm proud of to a certain extent here is I built calluses, right? I forced myself to really slow down, to really just trade my system, to not ignore, or sorry, to ignore basically my intrusive thoughts. And I had to fight for every dollar here today more than I needed to. And that's not how I wanted to finish a Friday, where my mental capital is probably at all-time lows this week. But I am happy with it. Nice work, Dave. Better exit than me. So well done. Evelyn Green. Okay, 700 is not terrible. Again, a lot of self-inflicted wounds here today. Nice work, Tony. Send me, JS, send me your executions. I'd love to take a look. Good bounce back, Austin. Any questions here, guys? I do have to jump off. I have a call I got to jump onto. Any questions? P&L here today, 424.35. That's the average per account. I do miss trading my 13. I got to get some more past. All right, guys. Yeah, same deal like always. If you have any questions, hit me up outside of market hours. Keep an eye out for the psychology series. I should be able to finish everything up on Saturday. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, see you guys on Monday. Get to work this week, guys. It is what it is. But yeah, to be improved. So talk to you guys in a little bit.